Kyle, give me a hot take. Hot take me. It's been a while.
I keep seeing this going around. People debating, talking about, complaining about comic book accuracy. This is not comic book accurate. This is comic book accurate, and that makes it good, and that makes it bad. I don't think comic book accuracy is the best indicator of whether something's good or bad. I think
It's
it
hot right now,
is.
Kyle.
I think it
Specifically
is
right now in this.
a factor, but I don't think it's as big as people are making it out to be.
Okay, I think I see what you're talking about because right now with Fantastic Four, Superman, like comic book accuracy is in trend, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like that's like what is, and as a comic book movie fan, that makes me worried because that makes me worried about the next films just going for comic book accuracy based on trend and not because they're trying to make something good, like James Gunn and like Matt Shackman were, like where like the comic book accuracy came in to lend itself to the project, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where like a good example is like Spirit of Vengeance, Ghost Rider. That's like pretty comic book accurate for the time. Like they were really trying to go deep into like this is a comic book movie, like really hard. That movie fucking sucks.
Yeah,
Like,
not a good movie. Absolutely
like
not a good movie.
that movie sucks. I will say, however, that like here's a good question for you. What makes like what would you put ahead of comic book accuracy to like make like a good comic book movie? Like what are like your like pillars of like making a good comic book movie that would be like ahead or like with comic book accuracy?
Hmm. I think a few pillars of what make a good comic book movie good are the pillars of what make most movies good. Like the acting, the casting, and the writing
Writing.
are so key. Taking parts of the source material with comic books specifically is important. I'm not saying that it doesn't have to be, it can be completely whatever it wants. For instance, an example of, in my opinion, is X-Men First Class. Not exactly comic book accurate. In my opinion, still a
Damn
really good
good.
movie.
But
Like a
good.
damn good movie, but not necessarily comic book accurate. And I guess like the biggest downside of that movie is the fact that they wrote around Darwin, the way they wrote Darwin into the story to get away with the unkillable mutant, so they just somehow they kill him anyway. Um,
Ah, that was bad, wasn't it?
like so that's where I mean like that part of the writing fell short, but the acting and casting for that movie incredible.
Fantastic.
And that's I think again it just comes down to what makes a good movie good.
Hmm.
I think the mindset shouldn't be let's make a good comic book movie that adheres to all the nerds. Let's make a good movie.
That like has these comic book characters in it. It's really interesting.
Yeah.
It's really interesting because like I like I'm like of two schools of thought, right? Like I definitely feel like if you're writing a comic book movie and you don't know the source material,
Mm,
you can't make a good comic book movie,
that I
right?
agree.
Like if like a good example would be like recently in like Multiverse of Madness and like some of these new movies where like the rumor was going around that Marvel was telling their writers to not read the comics because that would give them like a new fresh take on like something,
Mhm.
which like I can understand that, like, but that is how you make awful comic book movies. You can't have people writing or being in charge of comic book movies that don't one at least enjoy comics. Like,
Mhm.
you know what I mean? Like that it will come out in the project. Like it will show itself like in the final result. But I do think that like if you're just gonna go panel by panel and dialogue by dialogue and just like follow the comic book exactly, then why make it?
Exactly. If you're not putting, like you said, your own original twist on it in some way,
Like
or at least
and
trying
then
to
I'll just
enhance it.
read the comic.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Like then like why are you making it? So I think like to do something really great, you have to like pull and then like just and like add your own personal from the writers, from the directing, from like it has to have that like film aspect
Mhm.
to it, not just a comic book story. Because that again, like it just doesn't translate to film all that good.
Sometimes, yeah, especially depending on the story. But what's also interesting about that is that like everything has become so wrapped around box office and how much money it can make, and if it doesn't make them a certain amount, it's a failure. Like when did we start gauging movies whether they're good or not based on how much money they
That's
made?
actually
We
such
should
a.
be gauging
I'm
it
so
based
glad you
on
said
whether you enjoyed it or not.
that. Ooh, that is a big old bucket of spilled milk for me, Kyle. Because that actually bothers me, like to like such an extreme amount. Like specifically this year, we're just getting like no film has hit over 700 million in the box office. 2025 is a failure of superhero movies, bruh. We've gotten the three best superhero movies we've gotten in the last like fucking like at
10
least
years?
I was gonna say five, but like like bruh, like we have like we're like in this like renaissance of this, and just like they don't take into account that movies are 17 times more expensive than they used to be. They don't take into account that people who go watch movies can't buy freaking groceries, let alone go to the movies. Like none of this
Mm-hmm.
is taken into account. Just taking the number and being like the number is not good as other numbers. Bad movie. Makes the movie bad. Makes the like superhero genre mean that it's like failing or on a downtrend. It's like no man, life is happening. Like
Yeah.
see a good movie for a good movie. It doesn't because it made $1 billion.
When
Oh,
everyone was going to see movies. That's the other thing is like if you compare pre-pandemic to post-pandemic movies just aren't seen as much. People are waiting more, especially with the uncertainty of the economy and everything. They don't have, like you said, they don't have money for groceries, let
bro,
alone
we
an
be
extra twenty
struggling out
dollars for
here, dude.
one ticket, $20 for one
Yeah,
theater
like
ticket.
Kyle and I pull. Unfortunately, this last time that we were going to see Fantastic Four, we had to pull from our like Patreon fund to go watch it together because we'd be struggling out here, man. Like
Yeah,
these tickets are expensive, and like I'm not saying that they shouldn't be because like I believe that like the people responsible should like get their due and they should be paid, but like
it shouldn't
we
cost a
have to
family of
take
five $100 for
no,
tickets to
dude.
go see a movie.
We it can't. It's
That's
crazy.
insane.
Like it's just crazy, and like we have to take that into account when we're analyzing the box office. And this is just my opinion personally. Fuck the box office. Like when did we become people that like this is what we're harping on? Like what
Yeah.
happened to us, man? Like that's just so wrong. I hate all talk of box office and like
Like, well, so
quality
there,
of movie
yeah,
based
see
on the
that's
box
that
office.
that's where the disconnect is for me because box office is important. How much money a movie makes is
True.
important. It isn't a direct reflection of how good a movie is
Hmm.
because if a movie doesn't do necessarily well in the box office, but the same people go and see it 3-4 times, it clearly hit its target audience and is a good
Yeah.
movie for the people it wanted to
We're
be a good
hitting like
movie for.
90% audience scores and we're like, didn't hit the number. Bad movie.
Like in what universe?
Like,
It-
take a breath, smile a little, like, learn to enjoy. Go have a glass of water. Like, man, you've lost sight of the little things. Good
yeah.
gravy.
Yeah, especially like you said with these last three movies coming out just being bangers. You know, some of the
Like
best superhero
Thunderbolts
content we've gotten
and
in a very
Fantastic Four. When's the last year that we got three back to back like that? That were like Brave
never.
New World. I'll like adhere that like what wasn't great, but like,
Hmm.
bruh, like are we just getting that shitty as like fans? You know that like
I think you're right on
what's
the point
going
there is
on
that
there?
comic book fans in general we've become way too jaded when it comes to this
Man, it
material. Our
sucks.
like it sucks because they did raise the bar to a certain level and now like we're expecting them to keep going, but that's just not
That's true.
possible and
Mm,
sustainable.
very
They
well said.
have to reset.
Yeah,
Like
and
and
I
we
mean
have
like,
to
and
be
then when like
accepting of that.
yeah, and like again like when something is good, we have to like praise it. We always say that so much here in this podcast that like when something is bad, it's our responsibility as fans to tell the makers that hey, that was bad. We don't want that again. But it's equally our responsibility when something is good for us to show out in just as much force to be like, yes, which we did do for Superman.
Hmm.
But then like it just bothers me so much to see like the like the minority, I guess, just being like didn't make 700,000 in the box office. Man
Yeah,
of
which
Steel made this meh better.
Which what's interesting is that you
Like,
now that you're saying that, I didn't think about this until right now. We are seeing none of that with the Fantastic Four.
true.
There's no comparisons to the originals, no comparison to the reboot, no
It's
comparison
just
to
the
anything but
Snyderverse, man.
itself. I hate
I
to
should,
feel that way, but it seems like it's more and more true every
God, could
day.
I just wipe that, like, the existence of that universe from the minds of the population? That would be my villain arc. Like, it would just be getting rid of the Snyderverse. Like, that's all I want.
It never existed.
Be like, I'm
Although,
holding the planet to ransom. They'll be like, what can we do? Be like, erase the Snyderverse. Forget about it. This is all I want.
yeah, it's tainted a lot of people's ideas, you know. And it kind of goes back to the comic accuracy thing, where like a lot of people don't really care about it. Like a lot of people really love Superman
It's a
because it felt
balance,
like
man.
the comic accuracy and the hope. But there's a lot of people who don't see that as their Superman.
Yeah,
Their
no,
Superman is the one that they
was
got
the
in Man of
gritty
Steel,
one.
is
Yeah,
the
totally.
gritty, dark,
Mhm.
and like so. I understand why they'd be upset to see this lighthearted one that
Yeah.
loses
It's the
because they
same
want
thing
to
that
like power fantasy.
you and I
But
were harping on, or I was harping on hard a few episodes ago, was about Spider-Man not being Iron Man Jr. That there are
Mhm.
kids out there who haven't digested any comics and have only experienced the comic world through the MCU, and they think that Spider-Man is Iron Man Jr. I hate that. Like, that bothers
Mhm.
me so hard. But is that their fault? Like, no. You know what I
No.
mean? Like, that's just like what's been depicted. And they're like, that to me is like the responsibility of doing these characters well. You know, because like there's gonna be one day a generation that this is all they know. And
And it's
like
already
the
here.
characters should
Like
be
it's already
respected.
here.
Yeah.
Like Gen Alpha, Gen Z, even like
Hmm.
this is pretty much all they
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
They were very
Like
young
your
in
niece is a
2008
great
when the first
example. You
one
know, like
came
when your
out.
niece starts watching through the MCU, it'll be her first experience of superheroes. That'll be
Mhm.
her like blueprint, you know, of like who these characters are. Where like mine and your blueprint come from like the comics or like cartoons.
Animated
Her
shows
blueprint
mostly,
is
yeah.
gonna come from the MCU. You know, like that's
Yeah.
like these kids' blueprint now. Like it matters that like these little things are done right.
Mhm. And the same with
So
the
now, so
DCU
now
especially,
it's
yeah.
weird because like now I'm back to where we were talking in the beginning of the episode. If comic accuracy is important, and like I like that is why I think that it is. You know, like that's why I think it's so much more important to show Superman as this version rather than Cable's version, because like there's gonna be a kid one day that this is the only version he knows, and like that should be the version. It should be like the amalgam of what Superman is, you know, or like what Spider-Man is, what
Which
Captain America is, you know, like
I think, and a lot of other people agree, you know, that you see in the like you just see it everywhere, that this is kind of a quintessential depiction of Superman. When it
100%.
first came out, a lot of people comparing it to Christopher Reeves,
Mhm,
who was the previous quintessential
mhm,
Superman.
mhm.
Like that's who everyone looked up to. That's who everyone tried to emulate when
The
they tried to
Iron
play.
Giant. We've said it too many times now on this podcast, and I'll say it too many more.
Yep.
Superman.
Superman. This is the Superman he would look up to. This is the
Absolute.
one. Yeah.
Absolute.
On a side tangent, though, I want to bring up
Good talk.
something
Good,
with
good talk.
yeah, that was good. That was good. I want to bring up something a little bit side tangent with Superman. We were doing a little research today on just Superman stuff to talk about, and we came across Rachel Brosnahan's husband. And see, I only watched a few episodes of the show The Magicians. Shout
Did you
out
guys
to
know
the
that
real
he's the
ones in the
magician of the magicians? I can't contain it any longer. My life is ruined. Magic? No, I refuse. No, no,
after
Kyle.
after seeing all of their chemistry between David and Rachel, it is heartbreaking they're both married, but
I would personally like to go on record and say that I would pray for home wrecking in those relationships so that we can get Clark and Lois in real life. Is that the worst possible thing to say?
possibly, but it comes from the heart.
It
That's what
comes from
matters.
the heart. It comes from a place of goodness. It's coming from a place of goodness.
You just want what's obviously best for everyone
I
involved.
just want what's best for Rachel and David, you know? It's clear there. It's clear that there is passion. You know, I'm just a passionate guy. Call me a romantic.
But I want some home wrecking to happen.
Oh no, I'm sorry. I'm instantly sorry. Right away.
Right away. All right. So I do have a question for you. I got a couple questions. I think for you guys out there, let us know in the comments below what you would think for this. And Lucas, if you could guarantee that one movie coming up in the future be proportionally amazing to a movie in the past, a good movie,
Mm.
which ones would they be and why? So basically, you have to sacrifice however good that movie is, it goes all the way down,
Oh,
and the new
okay.
movie stays up. So it's
Okay,
in
so
proportion. So if you choose like a bad, like a decent movie, one that's not like super great or super bad, um,
so you're
that's how good the
saying
movie is. You know, it's on. If you
what's
pick an average movie, it's average.
what's one movie that hasn't been created yet that like I would sacrifice another movie that has already been made that's really good,
That you
and if
consider one of your favorites.
and
Yep.
I could make that movie bad, and it would make this new movie just as good as
Yep.
like the movie I sacrificed. Okay. What the hell, man?
That's a tough one.
Why are you doing that? Why are you doing this? You just come up with this today. You're like, I'm just gonna. How can I ruin Lucas's day today?
I woke up and chose violence. Evidently.
What the hell? All right. The first movie that comes to my head of the movie that I would want that like hasn't been made yet is Batman: Brave and the Bold.
Mm-hmm.
Right, and I'm worried
Interesting.
about this movie. And I want it. I need it to be good. I need it to be good. So, like, what movie would I sacrifice to make Batman: Brave and the Bold as good as them? I know what you want me to do, Kyle, and I won't sacrifice TASM 2. All right? I know what you want me to do, Kyle, and I won't do it. I won't sacrifice my boy, Kyle.
Did you see it in my eyes or
I
something?
won't do it, Kyle. I saw it in your spirit. I saw it in your...
Surely did.
I won't do it, Kyle. Wow, that's such a hard question. You guys, tell us in the comments what movie you would sacrifice from your personal favorites or what you are regarded as fantastic movies in order to make a future movie just as good.
This is a tough one. I think I have one though. I think
If
I have
I
one.
if I choose like Zoolander because it's like one of my favorite movies of all
Yeah,
time,
no,
does
it's totally...
Batman Brave and the Bold just become a comedy?
No. Zoolander is one of the best movies
It
ever
just
made. It would make
becomes
it one of the
it
best
just
movies ever made,
okay.
but Zoolander becomes one of the worst movies ever made.
No.
In direct proportion. So if it's a pretty good movie, it doesn't go down to the bottom, but this one doesn't go up to the top.
All right,
you know?
you know what? Okay, I'm going back to Spider-Man. People are gonna hate me for this. I'm gonna choose the first Spider-Verse movie. I can't sacrifice the second one. It's
Fair.
so goddamn good. A lot of people like the first one more. I just can't with the visuals of the second one. It's just so freaking impressive. I would sacrifice the first Spider-Verse movie to make Batman Brave and the Bold just as good, because that's another. Because I still think that that's a 10. You know what I mean? Like, I just can't sacrifice the visuals of the second one. Like, it's really like I think maybe the story of the first one, and a lot of people argue that it is better than the second one,
with good reason.
I just go, I you know me, I love my visuals. Me and my visuals would be tight.
Okay,
I'm doing it. We're pulling trigger.
All right, so you're swapping. You're making sure Batman Brave and the Bold is as good as Into the Spider-Verse.
Yes. Because like
but then we lose that
story, the story that's gonna like continue, get us juiced up for the next. Like Into the Spider-Verse was so good as an intro story. I need Batman Brave and the Bold to be as good. Like I need Batman Brave and the Bold to be as good.
You know what's interesting is when I first thought of it, one of the first ones that came into my mind was the Batman Part 2. What I would want to trade to make sure that's amazing.
Hey, we're both Batman. We need Batman as a comic community. We need him to be good.
I mean, people talk about Batfleck
has destroyed me.
No. Here's the thing: people talk about Batfleck being a good Batman, and here's the issue with that: is that they're not wrong. we just haven't gotten any good Batman.
That's true.
Like, we just haven't gotten a good Batman. Besides,
and
I would say
like,
Robert Pattinson's is the best.
My whole thing on the Batflick thing is that we just didn't get to see him do enough Batman. If he was a good Batman, it's all in our goddamn minds because we saw
had
him
one
be
scene.
Batman in a warehouse scene, and then like in the last 15 minutes, I'll concede the last 15 minutes of Batman versus Superman that it's badass, but like it's 15 goddamn minutes.
Yep, in a 3.5-hour movie. 5-hour with the.
I digress.
Anyway, I think I'm gonna actually go with Blade. If they ever do a Blade movie,
yes.
What would I sacrifice though? Oh God, what would I sacrifice? Here's what I'm gonna do.
Such a good one, Kyle. I'm so saddened by the affairs of this Blade film that it's in.
It's devastating.
You know what I'm hoping before you, just to cut you off? I'm hoping that we're postponing because after Doomsday, after Secret Wars, the next phase of the MCU is going to be like the
Supernatural,
and that's when we're going to get Blade. That's
Midnight
when we're
Suns,
get Moon Knight again. That's when we're going to get Ghost Rider. We're going to get like that.
The Midnight Suns. It would make sense.
That's where I'm like, that's the next phase. So like they're like maybe just like shelve the Blade.
Going along with that, I think that makes it important if Blade is going to be the first one of that like monsters, it has to be good, otherwise they're going to scrap the idea for the most part, but and I don't know if you're going to agree with this, but I think I would
sacrifice Chasm 2, Kyle?
I would sacrifice Guardians 3.
No.
That's how good I want Blade to be. No. It's only to show how good I want Blade to be, because I want it to be so impactful that it changes the way we see the character, just like Guardians 3 did. Now, losing Guardians 3 might be a horrible blow, and it might have ended up being a terrible decision, but that's the proportion I want. I want Blade to be as good as Guardians 3 was for me.
So
I knew that would hurt you.
That's crazy.
It's a wild take, I think. I don't know. I'm not sure if I fully agree.
Let us know in the comments what film you would sacrifice to get your dream film out there. All right, it's about giving. All right, you can't just get. You can't just get, folks.
No, you got to sacrifice
too. You got to give. What are you willing to give for what movie? Let us know in the comments below.
Please. I knew that would hurt you. Oh my God. Well, we do appreciate you guys stopping by. We hope you enjoyed that episode. I got Lucas in a state of speechlessness here. Like I said, though, thanks for stopping by. Please give us a like, share, and subscribe at your Hosts4Hire podcast with the number 4 on all socials. Trying to hit that 10K on YouTube. We're really trying to hit that 1K on TikTok. So if you could really help us push it to that so we can go live on TikTok, we'd be so grateful.
Yes.
Please let us know any episode suggestions you have in the comments below so that we can talk about what you guys want us to talk about. That's what we started this for, to create a community where there's rapport and back and forth with you guys. So please help us with that. Once again, we have been your Hosts4Hire, and we will catch you with the next episode.
Peace.